Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the new show in the DSPy Interview Series. Today we have with us Michael, who's from Russia and currently living in Serbia. The reason to bring Michael on the show is because when I stumbled on his repositories while curating DSPy Weekly, most of us apply DSPy to business use cases or something to do with developer tools, the kind of thing that you normally find in computer science students doing. What I found Michael doing was something a little bit unique than most of us is applying DSPy and AI to things like storytelling, to things like gaming, image generation for gaming. And that sort of really upped my curiosity. And after that, I've gone through some of his work and I think it's pretty interesting. Michael, thanks for being on the show and would love to get to know you and if you can give us a quick introduction about you.
Hi, Ankur. Thanks for inviting me. My name is Michael. I'm a senior backend and AI engineer. And in my free time, I just enjoy experimenting with language models, multi-agent systems. And I guess one of the fields that I'm interested a lot is how AI pipelines can enhance game development, whether through content generation or how can we improve NPC behavior
Mhm.
or how we just integrate AI-driven art and make it smarter. So most of my projects are just some interesting ideas that I want to try on the weekends. It was surprising for me that a lot of people would enjoy it and like it. Also, it motivates me to continue further.
Awesome. So, Michael, what is your formal education in that got you sort of excited on the gaming aspect and image generation? Do you bring any formal learning in gaming, etc.?
So I started as a computer science student many years ago, but then I moved to a game development program. So
Okay.
currently I'm a Bachelor of Art with specialization in game development.
Oh wow. Okay. So this makes so much sense. Now I know where your sort of interest and insights come from. Great. So Michael, given you have formal education in this field, and you're also working as a backend engineer, plus you've been dabbling in DSPy, image generation. So how do you see AI DSPy sort of like how do you see DSPy support for image generation and for video generation? Do you feel that they, like, for example, if you have an output field, right? Do you feel that there should be like like image generation, etc., should be like a first class citizen, like it should auto detect that this is an image generation model, or this or be able to generate audio, etc.? Like how do you feel about it?
I agree with you because I would love to have multimodal output fields in DSPI because right now, like the only way to do this is to use tools. Like if we use React model, of course we can provide tools to generate images or videos or other media, and then we can pass it as the input to another model. But it feels less intuitive. Of course, you would run into a lot of problems. And it's also, of course, for example, we talk about some Gemini or GPT models. They already can provide you with image outputs.
Correct.
And it's already have support in light LLM. And I believe that in future, I hope that DSPI will also have this multimodal outputs.
Got it. So basically, DSPy has some work cut out to make it intuitive, right? Like essentially.
Yeah, I even saw issues on DSPI GitHub where people were discussing about it.
Correct. Yeah. Awesome. Hopefully, it comes in the next version. So moving on from that, let's take a step back from DSPy. So lately, I've been experimenting with story plot generation, and I seen that you've done some work predominantly in the character generation for your game. How do you see how do you see AI impacting storytelling, character development, gaming industry in general? Like not a broad sort of answer, but what I'm looking for is that, so for example, a lot of image generation for characters, right? In old school game, you create that splice. Like all the faces of the character, all the positions, and then you kind of create the movement, right? So now that's become very easy with Nano Banana. So that's one example. How do you think game development gets impacted by AI in 2026?
So, of course, I did a lot of experiments on story generation, character generation. How can we define behavior of NPCs inside a game engine? And I wouldn't trust language models to generate games on their own or make creative decisions, but I do believe that they can be useful tools for a game designer or a game developer to make some process faster, more efficient, and I hope that in the next year we could see some frameworks that can be integrated inside game engines like Unity or Godot. So if we talk about character generation, of course, we want to talk about art generation. How can we create animations for a character? How can we adjust it to environment? And I think it's even more interesting for 3D models. So we can have some adaptive animations that can react on environment, or something happened in the game and the character can have some unique reaction on it. But I'm more passionate about AI behavior inside the game, because
Okay,
usually we have a lot of framework like behavior trees or utility AI,
correct.
where we can define a lot of behavior patterns. Like if you have low health, you need to run away and heal yourself. If you
Right.
see the enemy, you need to shoot it. And when you want to make a complex behavior, you want to think about like every situation in the game. And of course, it's a lot of resources. You can have a lot of bugs.
Right.
And I do believe that with language models or maybe some smaller models, we can define some personality of NPC, and we can work with the game's context, and these NPCs can react on what happens inside the game, make decisions. The last time I checked, NVIDIA tried to do something like that with the ACE framework. I didn't see yet some good results,
Okay.
but I do believe that in the future we can have some good results. I guess the main constraint, language models are big, expensive. Usually they depend that because they're running on the servers, and you can't take some small and smart model and it will be work for everyone. So I guess this is one of the biggest constraints right now.
So okay. So besides that, do you see? So I've seen gaming companies have teams that the job is to just generate graphics or the landscape in which the game operates. Now you have sort of very high end games in Unity, etc. But you have these low end sort of 2D games that still have a certain market share. Do you feel that the work to create those worlds for gaming and all the images, etc., do you see like models like Mid Journey, Nano Banana 3 sort of helping out there to speed up the process, or it's still going to be manual by creating the whole world? Just one thing. So there are three stages. One is dynamic generation, right? Like you start the game, and the world is getting generated, and it's a brand new generation happening. And the second is that all the assets, etc., rather than manually creating, you use Nano Banana. Do you think we are there or not yet?
Mhm. I don't think that we are there yet for some dynamic generation of worlds, but we already can use tools like Nano Banana for asset generation, because we already have team of artists. They make some visual style for the game. We have examples, and if we want to change emotion, face expression of the character, we can easily send it to Nano Banana, make this character smile,
Right.
make this character wave its hands, and it will already work. Of course, probably they will have some noises, some artifacts that would need to some
Enough.
manual cleanup. But for the prototypes, it's already works pretty well, because like I wouldn't like to have in this current state of AI models to have game that use just generated assets, because they can look clunky, messy. But for some fast prototyping or with expectancy that you will fix some problems later with generated art. It already works well, and I know some of my friends who work in the game industry, they already use these tools to generate art, like they have the style and generate some arts for the characters, and then with the help of artists, they will fix all the problems.
Makes sense. Okay. Um, so So that was about AI and image generation sort of making inroads into AI. So moving on, there's this blog post that you have on DSPy and GEPA, and essentially the repositories like creative optimization tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
I think the task there was you were trying to use GEPA to make small language models better so that you can sort of incorporate and use it. Just want to understand what made you go down that path. Like, why did you try to make these small language better with context of GEPA, etc.? Like, what was the end objective?
I guess one of the reasons was pure interest, but also at that time I tried to make AI alchemy. So if you know the alchemy game where you have fire, water, you want to combine them and get the next element, I tried to make a game where you have AI game master who will process all the players' requests on what we can generate, and to make a story out of it. Like if we have this civilization, they
Mhm.
discovered new element, new technology, we want to incorporate it into a story and see how it will go. And I used some models like Gemini Flash Lite. It's really fast, cheap, but the narrative capabilities are very low. You just don't enjoy the generated text. So there was a question for me: can we make the small models to produce more interesting text without fine-tuning it? So if we can just create some good data sets to show this is good text, I try to write like this.
Got
And because, for example, of course, I tried some Gemini Pro models. They have nice text, but it can take a long time to generate. It can also cost a lot. So I guess that was one of my motivations to do it.
Got it. So basically, inference cost and just sort of experimenting. I've got a question for you on the same line. Do you think in the future, as inference, especially for small language model, they start becoming more potent? Do you think that uh, you will have like a small language model optimized for gaming scenarios, sort of embedded along with big games and being installed on local computers? Like once the hardware and the language model sort of token per second is there, do you see this happening in the future? Like sort of the SML sort of moving to, like, are there benefits of doing this?
Yeah, I think it's possible. Of course, we want to have some specialized models for game development. Of course, we have
Hmm.
some models like Codex for coding. So if
Right.
we want to have something for game development, we would have to create some data sets or benchmarks
Right.
to evaluate it. So I don't know if it's possible right now, but yes, it would be interesting to see this in future. But of
Got it.
course, we can think about what tasks like works only for game development and try to create specialized models. I guess I really think that the future will be about small models because even now, if we think how these models are progress, the even bigger models
Hmm.
are in some way are cheaper than like models 2 years ago. If we talk about how much tokens it will require for them to solve the task. So of course they have maybe higher prices for million tokens, but they will spend less token to solve your problem, and at the end you will get a faster and cheaper result.
Got it. Okay, cool. Makes sense. Since you talked about token, I wanted to talk about the benchmarking that you're doing, and you put some of that on Twitter, and it was quite widely talked about. So I believe you did a comparison of Toon, BAML, and JSON. Correct? Do you want to tell our viewers, like, what you found in the benchmark, and also how you did the benchmark?
Sure. Well, 2 months ago, I heard about Tune format because everyone was talking about how it's good, how
Right.
it helps to reduce this token usage, and I was thinking, okay, how can we try it with DSPy? Because there wasn't adapter for it, so I made a adapter myself, and I want to run benchmarks, and I found this that actually Tune really works well. In some cases, for some tasks, we can really see improvement on results.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I'm still doing experiments. Like I try some math data sets, coding, logic, and
Right.
with different structures to see where it work well, where it work bad, and I can even share some of
That'd be
results.
great. Yep. And I just want the audience to know that this is something that you're still working on and these are intermediate results.
Yes, I still working on how to interpret these results because they're still raising a lot of questions. For example, if we will look at on MMLU Pro, it's some just basic math, science questions. We can usually like is some multi-choice question dataset. So we can see that all the old adapters like chat adapter, JSON adapter, BAML adapter, they
Do you want to put this? Do you want to put this in LLM and ask for a table-based view? So I think it'll be much more readable. Do you want to try that?
yes, in the future it
Okay. Okay.
definitely will because
Sure.
I
Sure. No problem.
didn't have yeah, I didn't have time to make a markdown table for that.
No problem. Let's go ahead. Why don't you walk us through what are your findings?
Yeah, yes. So I can just make it bigger so it will be easy. So yes, we have some baseline accuracy for each of adapter,
Mm-hmm.
and usually they're like the same for everyone. Like they run from 64 to 67.
Mm-hmm.
Like no big difference. But if you want to optimize them using JEPA,
Mm-hmm.
of course, we can see that like chat adapter increased its performance by 4%. JSON adapter didn't improve at all. I don't know why. I would still would like to know why. And BAML also improved. And if you look at an adapter, it improved by far range than other adapters.
Mm-hmm.
And I was even talked about in DSPy community how does it happens. And I guess one of the main hypotheses that modern LLMs never heard about a tune adapter, they never seen it, and they try to figure it out how they should produce these answers because it's quite often that they try to produce a JSON output and they will get validation error because of it, and they think, okay, how can we achieve it? And because they need to think more, they will spend more reasoning tokens on trying to achieve these results, and because of they produced more reason tokens, more context, it can help them achieve better results. So I guess this is one of hypotheses right now that if we make LM to solve some task but with stupid constraints that it never seen before, it can have better results because it will try to figure it out how can I do this.
Got it. Okay. Do you in particular have the benchmarks for nested responses?
Yes, I have it. If you look at, I found it. But with a table benchmark,
Mm-hmm.
we can see that Tune doesn't work at all for benchmark. It's just zero.
Oh, okay. It doesn't work for benchmark or you're not getting the nested data. Which one of these two?
Tune. So even if we look at what creators of Tune talk about Tune, it doesn't work with complex nested
Yeah.
structures.
You have to
And
flatten it.
yeah, so it was just some really complex with a lot of dictionaries inside with
Right. Cursive.
like we can have different lengths of arrays. Yes. So like we can see that JSON
Mm-hmm.
works good. BAML even better, but
Right.
Tune just can't understand how to parse it. So yeah, so Tune doesn't work for every solution.
Okay. Okay. Got it. All right. So I think DSPy doesn't have like an adapter. Obviously, you've written one. but there's no official one, and I think they're going to wait as per the response on the enhancement request. Some of the other languages frameworks now have it, but I think only time will tell whether Toon sort of really catches up or not. Okay, so that brings us to the the last question that I have for you is that so since you've been experimenting with DSPy for different things, what are the kind of features you would like to see in say DSPy 4.0?
I don't know if it will count for DSPy 4, but definitely in the future I would like to see more integrations, for example, with visual language models.
Visual models.
Because
Okay, same here.
yes, but it's not only about for output, also
Mhm.
because it's a really big dependency on light LLM to work with self-hosted models. Like a few months ago, I ran into issue when I wanted to test Omni SVG model. It's an interesting project where people try to generate SVG model using Qwen. But sadly,
I missed you there. SVG model using?
it's a Qwen based
Okay.
QVN based model to generate SVG images.
Okay, understood. Got it. Okay.
And I couldn't run it natively with VLLM or LAM because they didn't support
Got it.
this model.
Got it.
And I had to run my own service to run it, to integrate it into DSPy, and I hope to see in future better support for some self-hosted models because, of course, it works really good with Gemini, Claude, and other models, but if talk about open source models, it can be different. Also, I would like to see more features about efficiency. I even made an issue a few months ago about integrating some token compression models because it would be interesting to see how can we compress context to make it even faster, cheaper, and of course it raises more questions. How can we integrate it better? Because I guess one of the points of DSPy is that it depends on light LLM to work with models, so we can't run another models inside DSPy. We also need to make some requests to other servers. So I guess it's architectural question about DSPy. So yes, I would love to see in the future just some multi-model models in DSPy, some efficiency changes, and better some quality of life features to work with self-hosted models.
Understood. That and the first thing that we discussed was a better support for models multi models responding with images and video, audio. Awesome, Michael. Thanks for taking time to talk to us. I'm so glad I pinged you and got to have this conversation. I once again want to say that people should check out the work Michael is doing on GitHub. Michael, thanks for being on the show. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Ankur. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Bye.